According to a recent survey conducted by historians, Thomas Edison was not the inventor of the electric light bulb, but he did produce the first commercially viable one. Earlier light bulbs were experimented with as far back as 1802, and there were 23 others who had invented light bulbs, and some of them were still working on them at the time of Edison's work. But this is not a point for today's video. The point is that there was not a light bulb at least before the year of 1802. Please make sure of this year first of all. Thank you very much. Jesus Christ, whom we know, is a proxy for the real Jesus Christ, and Baptist John is the real Jesus Christ. Here in this video, I, Hiroshi Hayashi, show you the fact with evidence that Jesus Christ, whom we know, is a proxy for the real Jesus Christ, and Baptist John is the real Jesus Christ. And most possibly, the real Jesus Christ is Sabazios, the ancient god who was a nomadic herdsman and sky father god of the Phoenician and Thracians. Sabazios, that is to say that in Indo-European languages such as Phoenician, the Zeus element in his name derives from Deus, the common precursor of Latin Deus or God, and Greek Zeus. It is said that there are two ways how to frame a hypothesis. One is to use a hypothesis which depends on the theoretical and metaphysical frame on the logical structure that allows to prove something. Another way is to use Plato's dichotomy, usually by using demonstration through contradiction in essence and a logical frame, allowing the proof through the third excluded. Here in this video, I, Hiroshi Hayashi, frame a hypothesis according to Plato's dichotomy that penis of Greek deities or goddess were carved off when they were re-sculpted as Roman copies in Roma. In Ezekiel chapter 43 of the Holy Bible, it writes as follows: And behold, the glory of the God of Israel was coming from the way of the east, and his voice was like the sound of many waters, and the earth shone with his glory. William Cooper testified in 1989 in his testimony that when we received our first alien ambassador from outer space, who was known as Omnipotent Khalil, a member of the alien race from constellation of Orion, dying star Betelgeuse. Was Bill Cooper the biggest liar, or is Bill Cooper the truth teller? Someday the star Betelgeuse will run out of fuel, collapse under its own weight, and then rebound in a spectacular supernova explosion. Someday, but probably not soon. Not soon, but when? Wikipedia writes about the Aztec UFO incident as follows. The Aztec, New Mexico UFO incident, sometimes known as the other Roswell, was a flying saucer crash alleged to have happened in 1948 in Aztec, New Mexico. The story was first published in 1949 by author Frank Scully in his Variety magazine columns and later in his 1950 book Behind the Flying Saucers. In the mid-1950s, the story was exposed as a hoax fabricated by two confidence men, Cyrus M. Newton and Leo A. Gebauer, as part of the fraudulent scheme to sell supposed alien technology. You see the truth out there beyond your common sense. John Green writes in his essay as follows. You spend your whole life stuck in the labyrinth thinking about how you will escape one day and how awesome it will be, and imagining that future keeps you going, but you never do it. You just use the future to escape the present. I, Hiroshi Hayashi, often get lost in the labyrinth of mysteries. Life itself is a labyrinth, isn't it? I hereby correct my hypothesis. The history of the Holy Cross is not as old as the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, or, according to Wikipedia, it is not older than 2nd or 3rd centuries or 4th century when the Empress Helena, mother of Constantine, the first Christian emperor of Rome, traveled to the Holy Land in 326 to 28. The Empress Helena discovered, by a miracle, the hiding place of 3 crosses that are believed to be used as a crucifixion of Jesus and of 2 thieves. The cross is now named the True Cross. These 3 artists, Andrea del Verrocchio, Luca Signorelli, and Leonardo da Vinci, were puppet artists concocted in the Renaissance by Jesus Christ after 1500 years. As to Leonardo da Vinci, he was a fictitious artist and he did not even exist, or a disguised artist of Luca Signorelli with a large nose and a long beard. Most probably you may reckon that I am out of mind before you may get surprised when I say so, saying that Hiroshi Hayashi is crazy. I know that, but then I would like to ask you to give me 18 minutes before you think so and you draw your own conclusion. 18 minutes through which you may know that our history itself has been concocted, and you may know there is another version of human history which we don't know, besides the history we know. This is not a matter whether you believe in me or not, but a matter whether you accept this fact or not, since I show you only visual evidence. Then I say here again that these 3 artists, Andrea del Verrocchio, Luca Signorelli, and Leonardo da Vinci, were puppet artists concocted in the Renaissance by Jesus Christ after 1500 years. As to Leonardo da Vinci, he did not even exist, or a disguised artist of Luca Signorelli. A wise man writes, "One is never afraid of the unknown, but one is afraid of the known coming to an end." The School of Athens is one of the most famous frescoes by the Italian Renaissance artist Raffaello Santi. It was painted between 1509 and 1511 as a part of Raphael's commission to decorate the rooms now known as the Stanze di Raffaello in the Apostolic Palace in the Vatican. The picture has long been seen as Raffaello's masterpiece and the perfect embodiment of the classical spirit of the Renaissance. Leonardo da Vinci was a concocted artist in the Renaissance, and Leonardo did not even exist. His self-portraits were also concocted after Luca Signorelli and an 3D printing technology, and even his name might have been concocted after Andrea del Verrocchio. Leonardo was a puppet artist of Jesus after 1500 years, and that is why Leonardo could leave his so-called masterpieces such as maps of Imola and Florence, as well as Mona Lisa. Leonardo was a puppet artist of Jesus after 1500 years. Here I can show you the evidence to prove this fact. Who defined the length of 1 mile? Mystery of 6 by 6 by 6. Genesis chapter 19. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and returned to the place where he had stood before the Lord. He looked down toward Sodom and Gomorrah, toward all the land of the plain, and he saw dense smoke rising from the land, like smoke from a furnace. According to Riley Study Bible, it explains about this smoke as follows. Deposits of sulfur and asphalt have been found in this area. Possibly an earthquake occurred and lightning ignited the gases that are released, causing a rain of fire and smoke. Sulfur, gases, earthquake, lightning, it caused a rain of fire and smoke. Those who must be Christians do not believe in the Lord, which sounds funny to me. Albert Einstein wrote, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited to all we now know and understand, while imagination embraces the entire world and all there ever will be to know and understand. Here in this video, I, Hiroshi Hayashi, prove with evidence that Leonardo da Vinci, it doesn't matter whether he was a puppet artist or not for Jesus Christ after 1500 years, Leonardo da Vinci most possibly might have been to Mars. Everyone has got their own idea about the differences about the sexes of men and women. Scientists decoding the human genome have discovered that just 78 genes separate men from women. But what are they? What are the 78 differences between men and women? A funny man very simply explains about the differences as follows. Women have the "Oh dear, the toilet paper is on its last sheet. Must replace it immediately" gene. This is entirely absent in men who have the "Oh shit, can you pass me a toilet roll, love" gene. But one thing is very clear, which is the very point for today. That is to say that those who look like women in appearance are not always women, or vice versa. Leonardo da Vinci with Martians or people from Mars, gas manipulated by aliens. Checkmate is a game position in chess in which a player's king is threatened with capture and there is no way to remove the threat. Checkmating the opponent wins a game. So do I, Hiroshi Hayashi, Hamamatsu-city, Japan. What is the lifespan for gas, or more accurately, demigods? According to O'Reilly Study Bible, the average age of the patriarchs in ancient times is around 800. 800 years old. Is it so long or so short? Today's story is about it. The term OO part or out-of-place artifact is rarely used by historians or scientists. You know the reason why. Why isn't the term used by historians and scientists? The term is used to describe a wide variety of objects, from anomalies studied by mainstream science and pseudoecology far outside the mainstream, to objects that have been shown to be hoaxes or to have mundane explanations. Then, how about this fact I show you here in this video? Why can't people accept the truth as it is? Which is the biggest mystery to me. Don't hide from the truth. Truth is in here. You find it here in this video. We have got two alternative choices to understand human history. One of the two is to choose one that, unless we can obtain evidence of aliens' existence, we should understand that the whole history of human beings has been created by human beings ourselves. Another one of the two is to choose one that, unless we can obtain evidence that whole history of human beings has been created by human beings ourselves, the whole history has been created by aliens whom we may call gods. Now is the time of its choice. Which choice of the two would you choose? Is this a lamp or a crystal ball?